G'day, Franklin. My name's Jamie Hellen. I'm the Deputy Town Administrator here in Franklin. And today we're going to have a short conversation with the Recreation Department to tell them about all the wonderful things that they have to offer families here in town. We're also going to take an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the new Beaver Street facility and some of the additional extensions that are going to happen at that facility over the summer. We're also going to take an exclusive look at the video that's on the town website with all the great facilities we have here in town. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the recreation staff to you. Ryan Jette, Megan Woodacre. Good to see you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So, Ryan, let's cut to the chase. You know, what the Franklin Recreation Department has to offer here in town and all the families who live in the community is a tremendous service. Maybe you could give our viewers just a little bit of a background of a year in the life of what it's like to run the Recreation Department and what you have to offer everybody in town.
Sure. Well, first of all, I've been doing it for about 16 years, been working for the town of Franklin. We started off with about 3 programs when I first started in 1999, and we're offering over 100 programs a year now. We're a service-based organization where we rely heavily on the fees we charge for the programs to operate our entire department. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, this is a seasonal program. Our seasonal programs are spring, summer, winter, and fall. And just to give you an idea of some of the programs that we offer, during the springtime, our biggest programs are our girls lacrosse program and our Pee Wee baseball program. We have about 300 kids in the Pee Wee baseball program, and our girls lacrosse program has about 250 girls. We started those programs way back. We get a lot of participation. It's kind of an introduction to these sports, and it's a great way for parents to get their kids into youth sports in a fun atmosphere. During the summertime, we offer a lot of summer camps. We have a day camp down at King Street Memorial Park. Mm-hmm. We also used to have one over at Choate Park in Medway. We've now passed that on to the town of Medway. In the summer, we're also offering summer sports camps in girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, baseball, basketball, a lot of different activities. During the fall, our biggest programs are the field hockey and our flag football program. Field hockey has about 180 girls in there. It's a great new program. We started that in 2009, and we're one of the bigger youth programs in the state. Flag football program continues to grow every year. We have about 500 kids in that. We start them at 6 years old all the way through age 14, and it gets rave reviews. It's a large program. During the wintertime, our rec basketball is our biggest program. It's probably the largest youth sport in town. We have between 13 and 1,400 kids in that program every year. Well, we start them about kindergarten, and they go all the way through to 12th grade, where we do an intramural program. That's just a little overview of some of the programs.
I mean, that's mind-blowing. I mean, it's basically something for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, how many participants do you have, on an annual basis? I mean, I don't know whether you calculate it by, just the amount of kids that are involved or if it's households, but give us an idea of the reach of all the programming that's in the community.
So we do calculate that. We have a software that calculates the number of registrants that we take in a year, and we had over 5,300 kids signed up for programs this year, just in the recreation department. There are other youth sports organizations that are operating in town, and they keep a lot of their own figures, but I can give you kind of just a rough estimate.
Yeah.
The youth soccer program in town has 1,400 kids in the fall and about 1,200 kids in the spring. The Franklin Youth Baseball program has about 900 boys playing. The Franklin Girls Softball has about 500 girls playing. The Pop Warner football program has cheerleaders and football players, and they're a little over 400 participants. And the boys lacrosse program has over 300 boys playing.
Wow.
So there's a lot of programs, and we're doing a lot of the field scheduling for those organizations.
So we're a healthy community.
Yes.
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, with all those athletics, all those opportunities to be outside, all the fun and games, I mean, this is really, a world-class recreation department that we have here in town. And then in addition to the recreation department, all the other youth sports that have in town. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, it's been really warm out this year. And I have a feeling that as we get, a little further down the road, a lot of families are going to want to get outside. And I imagine that the spring and summer programs, are very vibrant here in town. Mm-hmm. Megan, why don't you give us a run through as the program coordinator for the town's recreation department? Give us a little overview, a little preview to our viewers at home of what they have to look forward to, over the next several months.
Sure. I mean, like Ryan said, all 4 seasons are super busy: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Spring and summer, I'd say, are probably our bigger programs, as winter programs and parents are itching to push their kids outside as well as the kids as well. Winter basketball just ended 2 weeks ago. Volleyball and track and field ended last week. So at the office right now, we're trying to really get Pee Wee baseball off the ground and running. Girls lacrosse, which Ryan mentioned, for the spring program does actually start next week. We have a U9, a U11, a U13, and a U15 league. And within each of those leagues, there's a minimum of at least two teams per league.
Wow.
At the U13, which is, the U11, which is the 3rd and 4th, there's actually 4 teams. So that's pretty big. So that's going to be taking place next week. They practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they play on Sundays. And we're actually part of the Founders League this year. Previous years back, we were part of the Mass Bay Girls Lacrosse League. But since, we've grown with over 250 girls, multiple teams, we decided to take the next step and really go into the Founders League, which is it's a little bit more prestigious league. We play Weston, Wellesley, all of the major towns.
So some of the towns moving a little further east.
Correct, yes.
Towards the city.
Yeah, better competition, bigger towns. So while that's going on, we're actually in the planning process of Pee Wee baseball, which is set to start the end of April. So right now, Ryan and I are, we're making the schedules, we're creating the teams. Pee Wee baseball is for ages 4 to 6 years old. So we have 3 different leagues: a 4-year-old league, a 5-year-old league, and a 6-year-old league. And like most sports in town, we actually bring the sport to the kids. So that means like shortening the fields, making the equipment more usable for the kids. For the 4-year-old division, they actually hit off of a tee. They have these smaller balls. They're squishy. Same with the baseball bats. The 5-year-olds, they have the option of hitting off the tee or a coach toss. And then the 6-year-olds, they actually move up and the coach will toss to them, pitch, I should say. They learn like base hitting, base running, hitting, fielding, all that fun stuff. And besides that, we have street hockey. Registration starts in June. I know that's typically not spring, but we're planning for that right now. And we do a bunch of spring programs such as April vacation. We usually go paintballing, rock climbing. This year we're actually doing a flag football clinic. It's going to be for 3 hours, one day, because flag football is huge in town.
Fun.
And
Very popular.
and why not get them out early? Get them excited for the fall season.
Exactly. Well, as you're sitting here talking, one of the reasons why I like to try to do some of these segments, right, is try to take people, the viewers at home, and give them a little bit more understanding. I think a lot of families show up as they should. They register their children. They show up at the fields. They do the program. It's fun. The kids have a great time. The families have a great time and whatnot. But as I'm sitting here listening to you talk, I'm thinking Megan Woodacre is preparing basketballs and doing all sorts of other stuff, behind the scenes that a lot of families don't normally get to see. And truthfully, I don't even normally get to see it all the time as well. Why don't you describe a little bit, of a day in the life while you're preparing for some of these programs, in the spring. So you're getting ready for the summer camp and stuff. What is it like on your end? Are you hiring volunteers? Are you prepping equipment? Are you driving it around, coordinating things? Tell us a little bit about the day in the life of Megan Woodacre.
Right. So, every day is honestly different. Today I'm probably going to go into the office. I'm going to make the Pee Wee baseball schedules, the rosters. More kids are signing up daily, so that means I have to shuffle kids to different teams and what have you. Ryan's probably going to go out to Tri-County. He's probably going to Tri-Valley. He's probably going to buy the Pee Wee baseball equipment. We're going to go into the back storage room. We're going to get lacrosse ready, the lacrosse equipment. What goes into the lacrosse bags are the balls, the helmets, the goalie gears. We'll be doing that. We'll be answering phones. Phones constantly are ringing.
Communication's really big. Megan's great at that. We get a lot of emails. We get a lot of phone calls, parent requests to be paired with certain kids. We try, at the rec level, we're really trying to make it a fun environment for the kids. So playing with classmates is a really important thing for parents. They want kids to feel comfortable because it's an introduction league, and so the competitive of nature, that's for later on in the kids' development. But at this level, we're really trying to make friends and have fun, give them a positive experience. So, you know, like Megan said, you know, building all the lacrosse bags, making sure that on Wednesday when all the coaches come to pick up, we'll have everything they need between first aid kits and all the lacrosse equipment, and they'll be ready to go next Tuesday. And then, as Megan said, there is a lot of equipment that goes into these programs, so making sure that the equipment is safe and it's up to date, and all the bags are stocked, and rosters are done, and schedules are done, and communication goes out to all the parents via email. We try to post all the schedules on our website and keep things up to date based on, you know, rainouts and whatnot. So.
And I know the two of you are being somewhat modest, because what I have not heard yet is one of the things I was looking at this morning is a little bit more about summer camp. You know, when I was reading the program, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, laser tag, bowling, Red Sox games. You know, I'm thinking, you know, where I grew up, you know, I wish we had laser tag, you know, forums. You know, why don't you tell us a little bit more about summer camp, and the unique and great opportunities that are available for all the families in town to participate in that,
Right,
you know, which
so
is right
I mean,
around the corner.
Yep, so I mean, spring is like a really good time for parents to sign up for our summer camp. Our summer camp is out, we have like Ryan said, a day camp. It's 8 weeks long, and middle of June, I want to say. It'll run through the middle of August, so it's 8 full weeks. Parents have the option of choosing any 8 weeks to do the full week, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3:30, or they have a 3-day option where they choose any 3 days. Again, camp is still 8:30 to 3:30. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a water slide. It's like this giant blow-up water slide that the kids love to play in.
I'm sure they do.
Wednesdays are our field trips, which is what you touched upon. The field trips do vary each week. So one week we could go to Launch Trampoline Park. The next week we could go see Red Sox game, which we're doing this year, which will be awesome. They could, you know, go paintballing. So every Wednesday is different. It is an additional fee.
The zoo. I saw the zoo.
Yep.
If I remember, I'm trying to remember all the.
The zoo's pretty popular. You can actually pay a small fee and ride the elephant.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Wow, this is pretty neat.
We try to keep all the field trips affordable, so if a parent doesn't feel comfortable sending their kids on the field trip, we always have camp, you know, at home base down at King Street Park. But if they want to go on the field trip, we try to keep it affordable. It's $20 to go on the field trip.
Oh, that's
that
great.
Includes everything.
Now, while we have an audience, you know, I'm just sitting there thinking, are there any things you want to remind parents about summer camp? Some hot tips, like making sure they leave extra money with their kids if they're going to a Sox game. Any tips while we have an audience here? Just things you can remember.
Well, the pre-registration is really important.
Pre-registration.
Yeah,
okay.
we offer a 20% discount if they sign up May 15th. Before May 15th.
I think I have the coupon right here, right?
So it's a great way for them to save money on the camp, and it's good for us because we get an idea of how we need to staff our camp accordingly.
Sure.
And that's why we do it, really, is so that we can bring in appropriate staff. We need to, by Mass State standards, we need to have a 10-to-1 ratio for kids that are over 6 years old, and 6 and under we need to have a 5-to-1 ratio. So we want to make sure that we staff it accordingly.
Okay. Well, I think our viewers already know at home who have their families interact with the recreation department. You know, clearly we have a phenomenal staff. The two of you do an amazing job. But one of the things that also sets, I think, the town of Franklin apart from maybe a lot of other communities are the facilities that are here in town. The fields. You know, we're going to be taking a little bit of a tour later on, you know, in-house of the new Beaver Street facility. But I thought maybe we could just take, you know, a few minutes to go through this great video that you're gonna have to remind me of the individual's name. Nick
Nurnberg. Yep.
Nick Nurnberg made for the town. It's on the home page of the website. But I think what we want to do is we're gonna take a couple minutes to go through the video when it pops up on the screen, and we can talk about each of the fields.
Sure.
And just about right on cue. Couldn't have been better, more times better or perfect. Why don't we start off with Beaver Pond?
Hold on, Jamie. I want to take
sure.
that again. It shouldn't have come up in black like that.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Wow.
Why are you
You think we
frozen?
need to redo any of those pieces?
I think the
missed out
only
a lot of
thing
things
maybe-
I wanted to say,
I know.
though.
Well, I wanted to help you, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. It's
There's a lot of programs that
Yeah,
like
even
the,
mentioned
Okay,
camp
you can do it
directors.
again, Jamie.
that's okay.
I had a segment to end of some.
But we can also do another. I want to do the segment 2 at the end of the how to stay in touch with.
Oh, right.
Jamie,
the app. Yep.
you can go ahead again anytime.
Okay.
Cue the video.
So in addition to the great staff that we have here in Franklin that run the recreation department, who many of you already know, both Ryan and Megan, I think one of the other things that sets this community apart from a lot of other communities in the area that give it the incredible quality of life that we've all come to enjoy here in town is also the exceptional facilities that we have. Franklin residents, are very lucky that we have some great recreational opportunities and some fields. A gentleman named Nick Nuremberg, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, was very generous and did this great video for the community that you can find on the website as well. But we're going to show it to you here. And here's Beaver Pond and Vendetti Playground. Ryan, why don't you give us a couple points on some of the
Sure.
highlights?
Well, first of all, I want to say our DPW does a tremendous job maintaining our facilities. This here is our town beach where we did a lot of our swimming lessons, and the beach is open during the summer months, and we test it weekly. This here is a shot of the canoe launch where people you see the people kayaking and canoeing in the back there.
Oh, wow.
This is Dacey Community Field. We have a dog park there, beautiful playground. This is the ADA playground here, one of the largest handicap accessible playgrounds on this side of the Mississippi. Beautiful playground.
That's awesome.
These are the 2 Little League baseball fields that are located on site at Dacey Field. The parks are really well maintained. Brutus Canarigi, Carlos Rebello, Steve D'Angelo, Steve Rozak, and the whole park staff, they do a tremendous job maintaining our fields. This here is our upper soccer fields where the Franklin Youth Soccer runs some of their in-house programs during the fall months. This is a dog park. Haley Goulet did this dog park as part of her capstone project with the Benjamin Franklin Charter School. This is our Dacey Field Disc Golf. You'll see hole 1 here. We did a lot of this project with Eagle Scouts and volunteers in town.
Wow.
Jay Mello is kind of the lead staff on that. He works down at the DPW, helps out a lot. This was a bridge that was constructed on hole 1. It was built by one of our...
Was that done by an Eagle Scout?
It was. It was done by an Eagle
That's
Scout.
Great.
We used over 100 hours of volunteer on this.
Really? How many folks were involved in that?
There was
Do you know,
28,
28 scouts?
Between the parents and the scouts,
Yeah.
correct, yep.
And while the video's loading, I think we have to give an amazing plug to a lot of the Eagle Scouts. Not selfishly, because I'm an Eagle Scout too, and it's a very similar project. But, in talking to a lot of the other department staff here, George and Brian and yourself and Brutus, the Eagle Scouts and all of the scouts in town do an amazing job
They
helping
do.
us
They do.
do great volunteer hours and community service.
Yep, they sure do. This is Fletcher Field here. This is kind of home to our Franklin Youth Baseball Organization. As I mentioned, they have 2 Little League fields and a Babe Ruth field. This is the new playground. We had this playground built. We used a grant that I applied for. It's a $167,000 playground that the town of Franklin got for free.
Wow.
That we, through the grant process. It's called the Our Common Backyard Grant.
And maybe again, while the video is kind of loading, one of the things that really makes me proud is how ADA accessible a lot of these facilities are. I think that's something that really sticks out. Is that something the town's really been focusing on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Long time ago when we did our open space and recreation plan, we did a self-evaluation where we went around to all the facilities, me and one of the commissioners on the disability commissioners, and we measured sidewalks, we looked at accessibility, bathroom facilities, playgrounds, ball fields, and we really made a conscious effort to be honest with ourselves about what parks were accessible and what parks weren't. We gave ourselves in many cases failing grades, and we set a standard for what we wanted to do. So proud to say that we've made all of our parks ADA compliant.
That's great. So we just went through Pisani Field.
Yep.
What about King Street here, Ryan?
So King Street,
while
this
you're
is
in the zone?
this is home of our summer playground program. This is the playground there that you see. This is the Little League field, the Benny Gillinato Little League field. You'll see in the background the kids at the summer camp playing out there on the soccer field.
Oh, so that's the summer camp
That's our summer
activities
camp.
right now?
Yep.
Okay.
We have a brand new sand volleyball court. You'll see that this is when it was in construction up in the top there. There
Wow.
it is. We're going to have leagues going during the spring and summer that Megan's going to organize. Megan's got a great volleyball background. She was a college coach, and she runs our middle school program here.
Okay.
You'll see the bocce courts that the DPW built. There was 2 of them there. We have our basketball court that's there on site. It's home to our community garden, where we have over 40 plots where if people want to grow vegetables, they don't necessarily have a big yard. They can,
I've heard that those have sold out really quick.
They do.
They're very popular, and we probably need some more.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm?
I agree.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. This is the
There's
community
the community
garden.
garden.
here.
That's great.
Yep.
That's wonderful. What a great opportunity.
Yep. This is our Delcott Recreation Conservation Area.
Yep.
This is the brand new dam that was built, a new playground that we have down there. This is a nature-inspired playground. It was built by ThemeWorks and the Game Time folks.
Sure.
The picnic area here that kind of overlooks the pond. We do have a canoe and kayak launch that you can barely see here, but folks who have canoes and kayaks, they can place them in the rollers and jump in the boat and head right out. There's a dock over here that they can kind of park at and do some picnicking if they'd like.
And again, while the video's loading, or if the folks want to take a quick pause, I think it's somewhat timely. We just commissioned a study to deal with the long-term sustainability of the Delcart. Ecological study of the Delcart. So one of the things that you may see in this video are some of the weeds. And now, hopefully this year, after that study's been done, the town's going to look at funding over the next 2 or 3 years an extensive program to remediate the weeds and the other invasive species that are in that lake, and get back to a place where Delcart is in its original natural state, which is a really cool idea, and I think shows some of the sustainability priorities of the community. So just wanted to make a quick mention of that. But I think the Delcart really is one of those those quite a beautiful area, and quite a jewel for the entire community.
Has a nice trail network there, and
a large trail network.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not tiny.
Yes. Anybody who's grew up in Franklin remembers it as the reservoir where Ernie Delcart used to live, and he used to hatch fish, and he was very protective of that area.
Yeah.
So
and speaking of areas, I think one of the things that pops up too, right, is a lot of residents in a community like this are familiar with their neighborhood, their area of town. So this video really gives a great overview of the entire community, and if you don't get out of your neighborhood much, maybe this video is going to encourage you to go on the other side of town and go visit some of the other great spaces. What do we have here, Ryan?
That was the Sculpture Park.
Sculpture Park, yep.
This here is Nason Street Tot Lot. It's home of the Henry Ski Faenza playground. This playground was one of the first that we built when I came on in '99, and we'll be looking to redo some of those components over the next year. This is Meadowlark Lane. It's a small complex located in a neighborhood, and that houses baseball and soccer and lacrosse as well.
Great.
So,
well, there you have it, folks. Phenomenal video. Great job by Nick. Again, kudos to Nick for doing a great job putting that video together. And I think everybody gets a great overview of what the town has to offer. Now, what's interesting is you can see right there why one of the reasons why people really love living here in Franklin. One of the things we want to try to get into in these segments is digging a little deeper, pull the onion back a little bit, and maybe talk a little bit about both of your stories and involvement in the town of Franklin. So, Ryan, why don't you lead off?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and then we'll go over to Megan.
Sure. My name's Ryan Jette. I'm the recreation director. Been working for the town. It's my 16th year, and I started working here when I was 26 years old, and really I grew up on all these fields and all these playgrounds, so I know them well. I grew up in a lot of these youth sports organizations in town, so I have a tremendous amount of pride in this town. My grandparents grew up here, so I'm a third generation Franklinite. I'm very proud of that.
Third generation.
That's right. That's right.
Is that the term, Franklinite?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Franklintonian. I don't know what the word is. Okay.
So I've been working here a long time, and I've seen the town grow.
Yeah.
It really it was the fastest growing town in this area for a long time, and it's got a lot to offer. The town of Franklin. So when I first came in, some of our playgrounds needed repair, and that was a goal we set. Our participation numbers for females was really low, and that was another goal that we set. So we've done a great job of sprucing up our playgrounds with the leadership of Jeff Nutting. He's really been supportive of our department and funding a lot of the playgrounds that we've done. So I think we have the greatest parks and playgrounds in the area. So I might be a little biased.
That's okay. It's okay to be biased. I mean, I will say, I don't know every community, I don't know every playground, but here in Franklin we do have some tremendous resources, and it's really heartwarming too to make sure that the numbers that you're giving earlier, about how many people participate, it shows that a lot of people are taking advantage of those things, which is phenomenal. Megan, over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit? Why don't you tell the audience at home a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, how long you've worked in town, And you were saying, I think earlier, you do live in town now, right?
I do, yes. So I'm Megan Woodacre. I am the program coordinator for the town of Franklin. I've been here for, I want to say, 3.5 years now. Started when I was 24, so fresh out of grad school. I went to Springfield College, got my master's in recreation. So it's kind of, it was great to actually, get, I think it was my second job, but a job right out of grad school that actually was what I studied. I live in town, been here for about 2.5 years. I used to commute from Wellesley, but my husband and I moved here right the weekend before my wedding. So it was a kind of hectic time, but we've been here for quite a while, and we're actually still looking to stay here. We love the town, and we definitely don't want to move. And I've seen, the rec department grow since I've been here, with the number of participants and the different programs that we've offered, not just sport related, like pre-K, our educational classes, science. So it's been great to see, and it's a great team to be a part of.
And it sounds like, Ryan, you just mentioned it a moment ago, but getting more sports or leagues, or however you want to frame it, more programs available for girls and women, that was something that you focused on. And now it sounds like, from the numbers that you're giving us, I know you probably, for the audience at home, we probably rattled through some of those numbers a little quickly, but maybe talk about that focus. And then, Megan, from a program coordinator standpoint, you've been here 16 years, you've been here almost 3 years. Tell us about the vibrancy of that of that objective and how we got there.
Yeah, so in 2004, it was really part of my goals plan, is to increase our participation for females. So we started the girls lacrosse program. We started a program called Girls on the Run. We started a track and field program for girls. We started field hockey. All of these initiatives were really aimed at trying to get young girls at the age 6 all the way through 14 and get them introduced to healthy lifestyles. So our programs have really increased in size, and we do have some of the highest numbers of girls participating, much so that we were recognized actually by the Boston College and the Mass State Lottery. They awarded us with an award that year that recognized the female participation numbers were going up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
And Megan, you want to add anything to that?
I mean, it's very evident based on, like what Ryan was saying, girls lacrosse, we're almost at 250, girls field hockey, always sold out. Same with Girls on the Run, which is a nutrition-based, self-esteem boosting program.
Tell us a little bit more about that one. I'm curious.
Girls on the Run?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a great instructor. She's actually you can become certified in Girls on the Run.
Okay.
But it focuses on nutrition, like healthy eating, hydration, how important water is to fuel your body before and after a workout. Talks about self-esteem, so it's it's a goal-setting program. So it might not just be on running; it could also be on internally what you want to work on that week. So it's a great program. Typically, we have around 25 girls, but every year it is increasing. And we try and run it in the spring and the summer as often as we can. But
it culminates with the 4th of July road race.
Okay.
So the girls kind of train through the spring and really feeling good about themselves, and then they participate in the road race on the 4th of July.
So if all of this that you've told our audience and us here today wasn't enough, do you have any thoughts on some just ideas that are being thrown out there that you have in your mind, either from a programmatic standpoint or a facility standpoint, of what maybe, if the sun, the moon, and the stars kind of align, what kind of options there may be in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years? Any other things that you can think of that we may want to be looking, give residents a sneak preview towards?
Well, we're always trying to be innovative and on the cutting edge with our parks and facilities. We're always taking residents' suggestions when they come forward. A lot of what we do is based on feedback we get from the residents. We just had some feedback that cooking would be a kind of a neat program to run. So we're partnering with the Tri-County School right now to offer a kids cooking class, and so kids are going to get the experience necessary to be able to prepare a meal for their family at a young age. So that's kind of a neat program. But on the facilities side, we're really interested in developing more leisure recreation, trails and trail networks, bike paths, that type of thing. So we're always looking for suggestions. We like the residents to come forward and provide suggestions on what they'd like to see in town. We're working on a new open space and recreation plan now. We just
Excellent.
developed a survey that we had over 700 residents participate in. So we got some great feedback on what they'd like to see in terms of facilities. So we're going to be implementing them over the next couple of years.
And so that dovetails really nicely into, if your families are participating in some of the programs or not. There is almost seemingly 101 ways to stay in touch with the Recreation Department. Give us a great plug for some of the things that you have for families to stay in touch with what's going on at the Recreation Department.
So we have a really huge database system that we have internally on our end. It's called Sportsman, SQL, and that's how parents can register. If they wanted to go onto our website, just click online registration. That's kind of like the forehand scene of what we run. We have the behind the hand scene. So if they just put their name, they can put their name on a list, an email list.
Like an email subscription list?
Exactly. They can sign their child up, and what that does is we get their name, we get their address, we get their email address, multiple forms of contact, phone numbers, home phone, cell phone numbers, and from there I can generate, depending on what program. Say I wanted to send out a mass email about art. We have a really extensive art program, ages 6 to 8 years old, say, and it can be both genders. I can just easily go into our database and narrow it down between those different age groups and send off a marketing email letter to them.
That's great.
So that's how we send off all of our brochures, our quarterly brochures, winter, spring, summer, and fall. Any other information that we have, with the youth sports programs that we help with, softball and just helping promote their programs. So we have a really extensive database that, we love to use. We can check out financials that way per program or for the entire month or for the entire year. So it's a great way for us to, stay in touch with the community.
We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so we have a page now where we can announce a lot of the activities that we're running. We can also help promote some of the youth sports organizations that are running in town. We also like to put in plugs for our high school players or teams when they're doing well, so we'll use Twitter for that as well. We also have a great new app that we've been working with, and what it does is it allows us to promote some of the parks and playgrounds that we have in town. It has some direct links to MapQuest, so you can find out exactly where you want to go. If you want to visit the Fletcher Field Playground, you can simply click on that, and it'll take you right to the park. It has a cool car finder app, so if you're going for a hike in the woods, you just click on the car finder when you start your journey, and then as you walk, it'll give you kind of a map of where you're going and where you've come from. So that's kind of a neat feature, so people don't get lost in the woods. It also has a direct link to our online registration, so folks can use that to sign their kids up for activities 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we've really, the online registration has been a great tool for us because it allows parents to, we realize people are busy during the day with work and kids, with their school.
Sometimes the only time they may be able to register for the program is at 10:30 at night, right at home.
And so people can go online.
That's great.
24 hours a day and register for programs.
That's great. So for the folks at home, the direct task is go visit the App Store, type in Franklin Recreation. The app will pop right up, and you can just download it to your smartphone and let the app lead your way to registration and all those other great things.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
It's on the Google Play Store and the App
It's
Store.
on the Google Play Store as
It
well?
is, yep.
Great. So I think we've probably sat here and talked long enough. Ryan, Megan, thanks so much for being here today. For the viewers at home, now we're going to go take an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the brand new Recreation Department facility down on Beaver Street.
Welcome back. We are here at the new Franklin Recreation Department. We are located on 275 Beaver Street, and we've been here since October. We're going to take a peek inside. I'm going to introduce you to some of the staff members, and then we'll show you some of our new classroom space. So come on in. So here's some of our staff workers. We have Sheila Adeletto. She is our administrative assistant. And then we also have a tax worker here, Loretta Bassick. We have a great tax worker program where we have about 25 tax workers that donate 100 hours of their time to help us in the rec department. All right, so you saw our front part of our office. Now let's head down and see where Ryan Jette works.
How you doing? Thanks for coming down today. Let's take a tour of the rest of the facility. So where we conduct all of our programs down here. Come on down, we'll show you some of the rooms. This is our conference space here, where we'll have a lot of our small gatherings. We can accommodate up to 10 to 12 people for meeting space. We'll be putting in a new whiteboard here with a projector. We have 2 restrooms here. Down the hall is our space where we do a lot of our children's programs. This is home of our first friends. Let's see if they're still in class. So this is our multi-purpose room where we do a lot of our children's programs. This is our preschool class here. Kelly and Nicole, our 2 teachers, are just finishing cleaning up from one of our classes. We can accommodate up to 8 to 12 kids in these programs, and we'll run summer camps, many classes Monday through Friday. We'll also be doing some large coach training where we can educate coaches. We can do CPR, first aid, and a lot of our large group training.
So this is our waiting room area. Parents, when they drop their kids off, they're actually going to be entering from this door here. Our tax workers, which I just briefly went over about the tax worker program, they check all the kids in. And one of our main classrooms is our art classroom, which is right here. Our art instructor, she runs 3 classes a week, and she also has a brand new kiln, which we just purchased for her. We're looking to expand her art program. We're looking to do some ceramics. We're also looking to do adult classes and high school classes as well. So this is a great room for this facility.
So this is our new kiln. Our art instructor, Anne-Marie Tracy, does a great job. These are some projects that our kids have been working on, and they just came out of the kiln, so they're still drying. In one of our classes, they did a bird bath with 2 birds. It's a project that they're working on. These are some cupcakes the kids made. And they'll come back and paint these after.
All right, so you've seen both of our main classrooms here, the multi-purpose room and the art room. The multi-purpose room, we use that for our pre-K classes such as First Friends, More Fun with Friends Lunch Bunch. We also hold meetings in there for our larger coaches meetings. So karate also uses the multi-purpose room. In the art room, we have art, obviously. We have it 3 days a week, and we also have a pre-K science program as well, which uses it Wednesday. Some days we'll also use it for CPR and other coaches meetings.
So we also have a building out back that has 4,000 square feet of gymnasium space. We're planning on opening that in 6 months. The building will have an area where kids can hang their jackets, take their boots off, and a place for them to hold birthday parties and whatnot. We'll also have above that will be an area where we can manufacture a lot of our t-shirts and camp apparel. And then the gymnasium will be equipped with basketball courts, tennis, lacrosse, baseball netting. We'll use it for a multi-purpose area, and that'll have about 3,000 square feet of the gym and about 1,000 square feet of the room where the kids can take off their jackets. So I want to thank you guys for coming down to the recreation department today, and have a nice day.
Wow. Well, that was an incredible facility and an incredible tour. It looks like the Franklin residents and the recreation department staff are going to be happy there for many, many years to come. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us today. Megan, thanks so much for joining us today as well. And thank you at home for joining us today. My name is Jamie Hellen, the Deputy Town Administrator. We'll see y'all soon.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.